Happy Friday, Pat. We made it through another week, and what a week it was, huh?
Why? What happened?
Um, well, um, I had my birthday, so we
Oh,
got
that's
that
right. Okay, that was
um,
okay. That's
going.
right. That's what happened. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
there was some other interest rate stuff out there. I've
Yeah,
seen a couple snippets.
yeah. I thought I was going by the TV and I heard something about rates, but I didn't really pay much attention to it at all. Really,
Yeah,
honestly, I
yeah,
just
I
kept
was.
walking. I went outside.
Yeah. I had to mow the grass, so we don't look. If you just tuned in to get a real a rundown on interest rates. We'll try to do the best we can here today. But it all kidding aside, we've already got Stephanie on saying unemployment is down, inflation is down, GDP is up over 5%, rates are down, economic conditions are good. I'm going to change the word good and say surprising.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Terry, I was
Oh
hoping you
no.
were on. Your check is in the mail. Face orange, frowning. Face orange,
Yeah,
frowning. Don't be
Terry, where are
upset.
those 9% rates, Terry? Come on, Terry.
Terry, I lost $1 once. It's just your turn. So, Pat, I want to jump right to the rates since that's our topic here, and then I want to kind of show what's going on in our market and then a little bit nationally. And while we look at that rates have really come down this week, I think you and I are going to kind of have a little bit of a cautionary tone.
Yep.
Because look, you're going to get inundated with realtors telling you buy now before the crowd starts showing up. Loan officers saying refinance now. And I think we're going to kind of bring a little calm to the logic here. And so
Yeah,
what?
we might be dummy. Maybe we'll be a little bit Debbie Downers. I'm not gonna be Debbie Downer, but just
No,
tap,
we're just
maybe put a little water in
careful.
that fire.
Yeah. So, man, what a week it was, though, huh? I mean, we're
Yeah,
sitting here looking at what is it, 6.64 today on a national average?
yeah. I mean, six, yes, low sixes. Yeah. I mean, it was quite the ride. I mean, obviously everybody's has been tuning in, probably has heard the news, but the Federal Reserve came out and kind of threw some, a pail of paint on everybody and saying, I don't know about crushing it though. There we go. I haven't heard that word in a long time, Terry.
It was banned
Hey,
all of
I
last
tell you
year.
what, it goes with my theory. Remember, I told you about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when we started this a year and a half ago. I said I hate the word crushing it because at the peak, let's go back to that my philosophy is at the peak. You always, I'm crushing it. I'm crushing it. You don't hear a lot of LOs crushing it lately, or realtors either. So they shut their mouths pretty quick. So that's just my kind of my psychological theory. Thanks, Terry. But we saw the feds come out. Oh, and by the way, Rick, I think that letter really did work.
I you know
Uh,
I it I
I'm
wanted to get
surprised that
I wanted to get back
Jerry
to
didn't
that because I
mention that
think
letter.
he started. This was before he went out there to talk, and I'm
Yeah,
sure that he read that letter one more time before he went out. So
I
what
think
he said
so.
though was, and this is interesting. I want everybody to understand: the central bank didn't do anything,
No,
and rates went down.
yeah,
So they they said they had a dot plot where other people in the Federal Reserve put their estimates on when they think it's a good time to raise rate or lower rates. And a lot of them said March, and so a quarter of a point. And so all he said was, um, "We like the direction we're going. We're going to have to keep watching it. We may have 3 rate cuts next year, but it all depends." And the bond market just ran with that.
yeah, yeah.
And I mean, I hope they're not over their skis.
That's like me
But
saying, I'm gonna just go way off the cuff. Say that's like me on a dating site saying I may take you to an expensive restaurant.
yeah, and those of us that know that wouldn't happen. So Stephanie's saying, what's the market rate now? Approximately 6.2% or lower. Does it depend on your debt to income ratio?
No, I mean getting approved does depend on your debt to income ratio, but well, let's go. I just want to go back to this though. The chart. Go back to the chart. Um, jump around a little bit. But we saw I think, I will say I'll take credit for the fact about 2-3 weeks ago, I said October 19th and 20th, I go back on our YouTube channel. I said I thought I felt the peak coming in the rates, and we've had a great run the last 6 weeks. I mean, you look at this. This is monumental to come from 5 down to 3.91. We come down 100, almost 110 basis points on the 10-year Treasury. So it's been a great run. I mean, rates have run, they're in the high 7s, low 8s. Now we're, like I said, I mean, low to mid 6s, let's say. But once again, I just want to caution people, and here, let me see here. Actually, let me just run this real quick here. We've got, yes, 6 3/8, 6 1/4. It just depends what lender you're at. But I just want to caution people that, yeah, rates have come down, but we had talked about here just a couple of minutes ago. I want to take the old bull versus young bull type of philosophy. You're going to see a lot of desperate LOs coming out there saying refinance now, refinance now. I think October 19th and 20th, we started a trend. I think that trend, I mean, this last 2 years, rates have been going up. I mean, we've been getting slapped around with rates going up. And I think we're toward the tail end, as I said a couple of weeks ago. Let's take the old bull, young bull philosophy. Young bull, you're at 7 3/4, and you go down to 6.5, and you refinance right away. Well, I think there's going to be a trend that's building here. I really do. And I think people have to let the trend run a little bit. Are there going to be fits and starts in the period of time? Like today, the market was down 40 basis points to start. Now we only finished down 9 basis points on the 6% coupon. And by the way, the coupon that I'm looking at went from 6.5 down to 6. So we're looking at different coupons now. But people just have to kind of, I think, sit back. They're going to, like you said, they're going to get inundated by the news, the press. You got to refinance now. I just don't want people to be taking their 7 3/4, dropping it to 6.99, and then rates go to 5.99, and the refinancing again. You get this serial refinancer that refinances. Pick a spot. You're at 7 3/4. Pick a level that you think that you're going to comfortable with. If rates to go to 5 3/4, 6, like, hey, I'm going to be saving $500 a month. I'm going to be happy with that, because you can always be an armchair quarterback and say, gosh, I should have locked at 6.5. I should have waited till 6. It just drives you nuts. But the beauty, as I told you earlier, what I like people have to remember is that the beauty of a refinance versus a purchase. A purchase, you got 30 to 40 days that you got to make a decision on rates. Should I lock today? Should I wait a couple of days? And that's what I work to, save some people some money in the short term, right? If I saw rates going up the last 3 weeks and I get a contract in the third week for the next 30 days, I'm going to wait for rates to come back down a bit. With a refi, you got the beauty of kind of sitting back and waiting and let the market come to you in terms of what rate you want to, that will help you save a lot of money. So I just kind of, just some general stuff I wanted to reiterate. And another thing is too that I hear is like, well, people say, I heard the 1% rule. Should I refinance with 1% reduction in rate? It's the law of numbers. 1% on a $150,000 loan doesn't save you a lot of money. It's got to drop a lot more. I mean, there's numbers. I know there's a formula that you can basically, it's quick. But bottom line is 1% on 150,000 is not a lot. 1% on 650,000 is a ton of money. So you just got to run the numbers, see what the break even is, give the market. Bottom line is, and I'll shut up, is that let this trend run out a little bit. We're going to have some fits and starts over the next couple months, because who knows? They say there's going to be 3 rate cuts. If they don't have a rate cut, then the market's going to be disappointed. You're going to see it. But the market day to day is going to tell you what the hell's going on, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and we're not going to see a whole lot of changes now as we get closer to Christmas, even in volume. It's surprising to me that we saw this much of a move as close as to what we saw. And Danila here saying, should the downward trend in rates persist, do you anticipate an increase in demand that could result in a resurgence of home prices? It all boils down to what we see the second week of January. In other words, what happens to inventory? Because if I look now, I'm going to take a look at our inventory here now. It's kind of bucking a trend in that we should be trending down at a faster clip than we are right now, but we we have flatlined because it always goes down after Thanksgiving. And now we're just kind of sitting there, 14.4. Second week of January, we should see more inventory, but we might not. So, if I don't see rates at 6.5 causing a huge rush of buyers, we still have an affordability problem. So I don't see the gates opening up and away we go and prices come, because I don't think there's that much room, if that makes sense. I think it makes it moving towards balance. I think the first thing you'll see is that the amount of concessions that you're getting from sellers, the first thing that wheel that falls out the wagon is that's going to start coming down. Right now it's $9,800. So maybe concessions will go down like $5,000 in January if rates stay where they're at right now, because they don't have to be as high to buy your rate down. So those kinds of things will disappear first before you start seeing pricing pressure. And then keep in mind that the lower rates go, the more attractive builders can make the new builds look. I wanted to jump in back here because Terry had said that Pandemonium asked that $500 fee is that what real estate agents have to pay to be a part of the NAR. And Terry says yearly NAR dues. NAR is not $550 a month, but when you combine the National Association of Realtors with your local association, both of them being about $250, $275, it adds up to $550. But just to be a part of NAR, I think they're only $250 to $275, and then if you pay by January 1st, you'll save more money. So Stibney saying low sixes or high fives should release buyer pent-up demand similar to breaking the Hoover Dam. Floodgates will burst. If we get there and stay there, I don't think 6.5 is going to put a lot of gas in the cars yet.
I think it's going to put some gas in the car. I mean, there's people that have been waiting.
Not enough.
Well, yeah,
not enough to see an uptick in prices. I don't think so.
I think there's the last 6 to 8 months, 12 months, people have been obviously with 7.5%, 8% rates. It's really common sense, or just really simple that, you get lower rates, you're gonna have more people qualify, they're gonna jump in because they see an opportunity. So it's common sense that we will. But
this comment's been out there quite a bit. Others saying that the future Fed rate cuts what happened before a recession. The only time it didn't happen in the 60s or 80s. Yeah, in some recessions you feel deeply, and some you don't. One of the things that they did say though, and when this is going to burst the bubble of the crash bros, but their projection is unemployment's going to go from 3.8% to 4.1. That's not the kind of unemployment rate where people are out selling their homes because they lost their job. I'm sorry, it's just not. I just don't see it now nationally. Jackie wants to throw out her prediction. So wait before you do that, Jackie.
Drum roll.
So let's make sure that we set the proper tone for this. How's this? Okay, Jackie, you have music for your prediction.
5.9%.
5.9% spring market super healthy. We have $1 writing on that. When you say spring market 5.9, are you saying by March? Because I'm thinking we're not going to be that low. And Stephanie says, I cherish Jackie's opinion. What are the minimum requirements for refinancing, assuming you bought in the last year? Some percent of equity?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. I mean, obviously, under 12 months, you can only use appraised value or purchase price, certain breakpoints, 12 months. If you bought at 95%, let's say 5% down, you probably had MI. I'm giving general terms. But you're going to have MI, so you have MI again, but maybe, like you said, purchase price or appraised value, people think, they have to go off the appraised value or the purchase price, typically with 12 months. But, it's pretty simple. I mean, it's just refinance is nothing different than a purchase, a little bit less. You got to provide your income documents, and if that's what they're asking for, income documentation, W-2s, pay stubs, bank statements. you know. So
Now, if I don't sound optimistic of a surprise CPI blip up, it's
Mhm.
not. If it goes up at all, Pat, there's no rate cut.
No.
It'll
Well,
just be delayed. So that's out there. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm keeping my powder loaded for that.
well,
And
that that's why I'm kind of like you. Everybody's jumping on this bandwagon that we're going to definitely see 3 rate cuts. It's not. What if they don't happen? I mean, it looks to me as though the Feds are just uh, they're what's the word I'm looking for? Jesus, content in keeping it right here because, like I said last week, I said if they lowered them and CPI or inflation numbers jumped up a little bit, then they're in a real pickle. They're just in a total pickle. So I think,
well, I don't know if you've seen this. There's an article out, economic indicator screaming inflation has not vanished.
yeah,
So you're
it
going to see a
hasn't.
lot of news on this as well, saying, look, it hasn't gone away yet, folks. It's
No,
still there.
yeah,
And the other thing that's still there is, and I'm not going to read this whole article, is this is where the central bank's between a rock and a hard place. This is current government expenditures on interest payments. Now, I know whenever I share this stuff, oh, it's the Republicans that did this, and it's about, I don't care.
no, I
I
don't.
honestly don't care. The money has been spent, and we're $33 trillion in debt. Pull out your calculator, add that up. It's 244,000 for each of us. And we're now paying the interest on the debt. So the more we keep that rate up, the more that number grows. So the chairman's got to be looking, going, well, our target's 2%, but I don't know how long we can start
Mhm.
walking towards that with this ticking time bomb out there. So there's just too much out there to, and add to that the psychology that when rates were going up, everybody is saying, well, we're going to be at 8.5. Well, we're going to be at 9. Because when they start to go up, we just take the train out of the station a little bit farther. When they're
Mhm.
coming down, we do the same thing. Oh my
Yep.
gosh, we got down to 6.6 today. The fives are right around the corner. Well, maybe
Yeah.
not.
No.
And you had a chart that you shared earlier. Do you still have that?
Yeah. I mean, this one?
The long-term rates and what they did.
Oh, yeah, right here.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So, when you
These are just FYI, these are rates from December 15, 2000 to December 15, 2023. So this is 23 years of rates.
straight line.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, I just FYI, I think you and I talked about this before I got on. I brought this up for just simple, stupid reasons to show people what is this chart. When I look at this, what does this kind of tell me? A couple of things. And I'm gonna go be chatty patty. But number one, rates don't go up or down on a straight line. Another thing is rates are very volatile given a period of time. The next thing is rates do run in trends, like right here. He's kind of right here is kind of up and down. Here's a trend right here. Here's a trend right here. Obviously, here's a trend that we've been in since 2018. It was 2018 to 2021, right? Coming down. Now, since really right here, December of 2020, we've just seen this explosion of rates. So, bottom line is rates go up, rates go down. Rates don't stay, if you're looking to refinance, they don't stay down for very long. I tell you what, there's a lot of people that, were probably getting quoted 2.2 3/4 rates back in 2020. They're like, I'm going to wait till rates go down to 2.25. I'm sorry, that train left the station. Bye. So that's why I kind of go back what I said a couple minutes ago. If you're at 7.75, 8, whatever you're at, pick a rate. Hopefully we get to it, like say high fives, and just be happy with it. I mean, you're not going to hit the bottom. You're not going to hit the top, if that makes any sense.
I
You know,
found this. This is mortgage delinquencies and foreclosures by period past due. So the red numbers are anything that are in the foreclosure process. And the yellow ones or gold or whatever, those are ones that are 90 days late. There's nothing alarming in those numbers.
No.
I bring that up because I went to a tax lien presentation the other day, and the guy was saying we have a ticking time bomb. There's all these tax liens out there because people are so late. And I'm gonna have to go back and look that up because I didn't see that. Jackie says our rates won't keep going down the speed they have, but I do think we'll bounce and go down slower till late March. I think we could hit 5.9. Anything under 6 will spur buyers. That will happen. If we get under 6, I agree with you. When we get there, I don't know. I'm just in this volatile market. I have to be prepared for surprises. And my first mortgage 2.4 was roughly 7%. I had no problem with it on a 140,000 house. Yeah, the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days.
Mine was 11.75. Mine was 11.75 on 103K.
Yeah.
And my family thought I was nuts. But it's again, look, if you're a first-time home buyer, you hate old guys like me telling you what my interest rate was.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter because the homes now are the average median home price $450,000. So I don't buy into that argument at all. It's like, yeah, back in the old days, I'm just like, oh, all right, just move on.
Yeah.
You old guys that bought your homes in 1964 when I was born,
Well, 1964 when you were born, had another 10 years that for me. Here's the one I really like to watch. I want us to keep an eye on in January, and this is the index, the Crawford market, when they're touching right there, right? So they're really close. So the demand index is sitting at 75.1. The supply is 71.2. So they're within 4 points.
The demand is the red one, and the blue one is the supply. Yeah.
Yeah. So if those cross, if supply goes above, there's downward pricing pressure. So we could see by the end of January that these may have touched, and I think they look like they'll go down. On the 7-day moving average, I'm seeing it tighten up. As you can see in the banner below, it's like 78% now. We were in the mid 60s, but I don't, it doesn't tell me anything because it's the holiday season. All the numbers that we look at now, as far as daily trends and anything, it really doesn't mean anything. It's, we're hanging out at Best Buy and Costco. So, and Amazon. So that, we need to be careful looking at that and trying to say that we're seeing a trend. And so I think, again, just to recap a little bit about what we said, this is good news for buyers. Rates gone down. Sellers are going to have an easier time. They won't have to contribute as much, providing this holds. If the bond traders did overshoot, they'll pull back. We could end up back at 6.9 again. It's kind of slightly trended that way this morning, but not much. But don't get caught up in the chatter that's out there right now that says buyers are going to be breaking down the doors in January. I don't see that. I don't think there's any reason to anticipate that or any reason to panic. I think if you're a seller, I think January's going to be surprisingly good, but not brisk.
Yeah. And my takeaway, my summary is, you're going to see a lot of LOs that have been, their business has been, it's been slow. This year sucked, to be honest with you. I mean, for the most part, I'm just going to cut, just spread it across the board. I mean, it has not been a fun market when you've seen rates go where they have been, but demand has been down on LO side. So you're going to see, I'm like, the chatter that I'm seeing on Facebook, the people, LOs I'm hearing talking, they're like, oh my gosh, you get refinance going, just sit back. Don't be the first young bull to run out and lock the rate right away. Let things run out. I think the trend is broken. I think we're going to see some fits and starts, but we're going the right way. And just be patient. Like I said, you're going to get a lot of crap. You're going to get a lot of stuff that's going to be pulling you left and right about which way this. Now, because it's been, look, if you think about it, remember a couple of weeks, a month ago or so, I was kind of just laughing about how it's a whole hum, market, no news this way. You know what I mean? Remember?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. It was flat.
Okay, here we go again.
To talk about. But
you also said to talk about
something. You also said something was going to break out.
Yeah. And I just felt, I'm not the sharpest guy, but you know what? I'm not the stupidest guy either. So,
well,
but I just watch trends. I watch trends. I talk, I listen, I read. I talked to people, and you kind of get these trends going. I just felt like something was going to bust. I felt like I said October 19th, 20th, looking at the chart, it kind of busted out the way it just kind of, there was a capitulation there that I just felt. And obviously we got going at the right side, but like I said, just be careful. I'll throw a shameless plug out there. If anybody's got any, questions, send me an email. I'll do my best to answer that I can help you. And, love to help anybody that, that has any questions either.
Now, the most important thing I want to share with everybody today, as I said, I was going to start a cooking channel. So I have my first video out there, and it's cedar plank salmon with sun-dried tomatoes and lemon and blue cheese. So you got to watch that. Now I'm going to be adding different recipes to it, totally different than real estate, but take a break and go take a look at it. I got a prime rib roast that I'm going to be making a couple days after Christmas. We're holding Christmas on the 27th for my boys because of their work schedule. And so I'll be putting out, you're not going to want to miss that. I did a beer can chicken one that didn't come out the chicken came out good, but the video didn't work out too well. So, but I'm going to be adding more things to that, and when I'm out camping too. So just a little something different for you. Go out and see, me, besides just sitting here sharing charts. I can show you that I do indeed know how to cook a little bit, and I have fun with it. So as you get closer to Christmas and you start getting all these alerts telling you to run out, hurry in January, our message is chill. Because if in order for prices to go up, it means that the people that got the message that rates are down is the buyers, and the sellers somehow are operating in a vacuum. So I just don't see that. So those type of run-ups where prices start going are going to show up in the Cromford Index before it starts showing up in prices. So you've got time. Yeah. You've got time to watch this. And heading to happy hour, pandemonium, terrific, enjoy. So we've got time to watch this and take it easy and not make any rash decisions. And but I'm going to state again, we ain't crashing, folks. I don't see it.
No.
Well, Pat, you have a fantastic Friday and a good weekend, and I will see you on the other side.
All right. Take care, buddy. Take care, everybody.
See you.
Bye.